You ever wonder if there's some kind of hidden pattern to your life? A logic behind all the crazy twists and turns? Well, today we're going to explore a really fascinating idea that connects a famous quote about life's journey to a, believe it or not, beautifully simple math equation. It sounds a little strange, I know, but this link might just change how you see your own story. And here it is, that famous line from Steve Jobs. I think most of us have heard this, and we just kind of get it, right? When you're in the thick of it, life can feel so chaotic, almost random. But then, when you look back, suddenly a path, a whole narrative just seems to appear out of nowhere. The dots connect. But what if we could actually see that process happening? And that is where we bring in a surprising tool. We're going to use a pretty basic concept from algebra to model this really profound idea about life. Now, look, I get it. Bringing math into a talk about life's meaning might sound a little weird, but hang with me here because this is where the magic really happens. Remember this from school? The linear equation, y equals mx plus b? Its whole job is to do one thing and do it incredibly well. Find a straight line, a clear trend, inside a bunch of data points. It is the ultimate tool for finding a pattern, for fitting a line through what looks like total chaos. And as you're about to see, it's the perfect analogy for our lives. So here's how we actually map this equation to a human life. Think of x as time just ticking by. Easy enough. Y is your outcome, your growth, your career, your happiness. Then you've got b, the y-intercept. That's just a fancy term for your starting point in life, where you began. But m is the slope. And that's the most important part. That's your direction. It's all the effort you put in, how fast you learn. It's basically the engine of your entire journey. Okay, so we've got the equation and we had the analogy for life. Now comes the key insight. This is where that Steve Jobs quote and the math really lock together perfectly. How do we get from just a random collection of life events to one single clear path? I want you to just imagine this for a second. Every major experience you've ever had, that first job, a tough breakup, a huge win, a spectacular failure, every single one is just a single dot plotted on the graph of your life. And when you're standing on one of those dots, in that moment, it's completely impossible to see where the next one is even going to land. This lays it out perfectly. These are the two totally different perspectives. See, when we're moving forward, living our lives day to day, all we can see are these individual scattered points. The bigger pattern is a total mystery. It just feels random. But looking backward, with that beautiful gift of hindsight, we can suddenly see exactly how to draw a line through them all. The trend, the direction, the story, it all snaps into focus. It becomes obvious. So here's the absolute crucial point. That line, the one that connects all those seemingly random dots from your past, that is your story. That is the pattern Steve Jobs was talking about. It's the narrative that you can only tell when you look back. All right, let's bring this all home and look at this deep connection we've uncovered, this place where the cold logic of math and our very human search for meaning perfectly reflect one another. The parallel here is it's just incredible. In mathematics, the process of finding that one best-fitting line through a set of past data points has a name. It's called regression. And in life, we do the exact same thing, don't we? We look back at our past experiences, our data points, to understand our own story, to find the meaning, to discover our own personal line. And it all comes down to this one powerful idea. You don't get handed the equation for your life at the very beginning. You can't possibly know your slope or where you'll end up while you're still in the middle of plotting all the points. You only discover your unique equation by living through it. And then taking the time to look back and connect those dots. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Take a minute and look back at all the dots you've plotted so far in your own life. The successes, the failures, all the unexpected detours. What trend do you see starting to emerge? What story is being told? What is the equation that your life is writing?